Good morning, everyone. We so delighted that all of you are here today, in particular the members of the media. We want to make sure that today, for us, for UMS Wright, is about honoring Coach Curtis and his family. And I will say this, I've been with Terry for a long time, 26 years this entire time. He and I have worked together and worked against each other and for each other. But I've never had to bring up a box of tissues for you, ever, at any point. So I know you're anxious about that, sir, but man, just look around, right? There's so many that support you from so many different areas. One I want to point out in particular, a group that I see so many of our past board chairs that are here, so many of our past board members and previous board members, Coach. That's just, that says a great deal about you. And I want to thank all of you who have taken the time to be here today to celebrate with us and to ask Coach Curtis a lot of hard questions. So we're counting on that. You know, Terry is, there's no question he has left a memorable mark on our school. I would say really rivaling some of the most influential figures in the long history of UMS Wright. His players, many of whom are here today, have gone on to become world leaders, national leaders, local leaders, community leaders. And his legacy, Terry's legacy, we all understand is firmly established in these trophies down in front of us, and the victories, and the people we never should have beaten. I mean, one of my favorite things with Coach is to always just go up to him after a game, and many times we didn't speak, we just laughed. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, and you know, who he's beaten through the years, that's a very distinguished list. But he has had a profound influence not only on our school and our students, but across this state and nation. It's really that, in my opinion, that really defines who he is. Terry wholeheartedly embraced the mission of UMS Wright. He's led our athletic department as a director with unwavering dedication to the values of UMS Wright. He never, ever, since his first day, has tried to be anyone other than UMS Wright. I learned a lot from watching him and building his program and leading his coaches and leading his players. I've learned so much from you, Coach. Your leadership has allowed countless student athletes to actually reach the mission of our school, and it's what it's all about. It's getting our students to recognize and realize their fullest potential in mind, body, spirit, and character. And Terry Curtis left none of those untouched. He was intentional and is intentional about all of those, and so that's the greatest lesson perhaps that I've learned from him. Our board chair, Ashley Leland, will come up in just a moment. She'll speak on behalf of the UMS Wright Board of Trustees. And then Coach Curtis, after Ms. Leland is finished, you may come up. Then following Coach's remarks, you may certainly ask questions from the media. Parent questions, these are media questions. And then at the end, Board of Trustees Co-Vice Chairman Frank Lott will offer his closing remarks. So it is a day of celebration, and we're excited to be here. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Ashley.
Good morning, everybody. Coach Terry Curtis has been the spirit of UMS Wright football for over 25 years, shaping young men with his passion, integrity, and unwavering commitment to excellence. His legacy extends far beyond wins and championships. He has built a foundation of character, discipline, and leadership that will inspire generations to come. As athletic director, his positive influence has resonated throughout all women's and men's sports. We are forever grateful for his dedication to our school and our community. Once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog.
They gave me a statement that the board people and all wanted me to read. I'm not going to read it. I know in a second. But real quick story. I had not been at UMS Wright a month, and Ashley's daddy came to see me, David Cooper. He said, let me just tell you, I know you're here to win championships. I know you're here to do this, that, or the other. But all I care about is you beating St. Paul's. I said, I got you, David. So that first year, they won undefeated, number one in the state. And we go out and we beat them 28-21. That next week, I get this real nice thing to Ruth Chris for, man, I thought, wow, Jeannie, we getting ready to be big time here. All right, we beat them 5 or 6 times in a row. We finally lose one. Jeannie and I were talking about it. She said, you think we're going to get that Ruth Chris card? I said, I doubt it. And only like David Cooper can do, I get same envelope, same everything. In there is a gift card to Dewdrop. So that's how my career at UMS Wright started. What an honor it is to be here with you today. 26 years, and it seems like yesterday. I see former coaches, even the former St. Paul's coaches, and teachers, and friends, and past board members. And I wanted to make sure that the past board members were invited, because it's like I told a group the other day, I've been in this for 52 years. I have never worked for a bad principal, or a bad headmaster, or a bad chairman of the board. Now, I understand it stood the deal. My good friend, Eddie Green, he was the board chair when I came here. He was a great friend. He played baseball with me at Auburn, and the tragic thing that happened to him and Edward. And I learned right there what UMS Wright was all about. They said, man, who's going to take over for him right now during this time to get us through it? Our mayor's here today. Sandy stepped up and took over to finish out Eddie's term. And I said, now that is what I want to be a part of. And I've always, I get upset, emotional. Doug said it the first time he'd ever seen me have tears in my eyes. But this place is so special to me. It's, I know it's time, but I could go on and on about UMS and what UMS is all about. And I've tried to do it as the AD to make sure other coaches understood the importance of this place. So thank you all, first of all, for being here. I hope to see all of you afterwards. I even see my man Bud back here. You can't hide my man. What a great friend he's been, along with, I don't know if Joe Bullard's here or not, but man, just those guys have been so special, along with Sandy and leaving this place. So I'll read some of the statement. I may stop a little bit going through it, but after 26 years as head football coach and athletic director at UMS Wright, I have decided to retire at the end of the school year. I really do look forward to the beginning of a new chapter at UMS Wright. Let me just say right there, it was strictly my idea. Doug and I have avoided each other for the past month. He was afraid what I was going to tell him, and I was afraid what he was going to tell me. So finally I had to set up a thing. I called Stephanie. I said, I need to talk to Doug. He said at one end, I said at the other. And I looked at him in the eye and said, Doug, it's time. And he fully understood where I was coming from, and we went from there. Throughout my time at UMS Wright, we have upheld a tradition of excellence that has defined this school for over 130 years. What I am most proud of is the consistency within our program. During my tenure, we've averaged 11 wins a season at UMS, advancing to the third round of the playoffs in 23 out of 26 years. And during my entire 36 years as a head coach, our teams have averaged 10 wins a season. We were not a one-time wonder. We didn't go and win a state, and then all of a sudden you never heard of us again. We have been relevant in the state of Alabama in 4A and 5A as we have done what we could do. Our kids have been, I'm going to get to them a little bit, and that will get a little emotional. My passion for football began in the 8th grade. Thanks to my coach at that time, Ed Baker. Those of people know Ed Baker was the coach at UMS at one time. He was my football coach at Sidney Phillips Junior High School. That is when I knew I wanted to coach. I went to Auburn as a freshman, went in to see my advisor the first day, told her all I want to do is be a football coach. Well, I didn't really say a football, I said coach. Because I was in Auburn on a baseball scholarship. She said, okay. So she put me in these courses, some of them okay, some of them a little hard. That kinesiology, I wasn't sure I wanted to be a coach. But got through it. All my buddies, I'd go back to a football game the next year or whatever, they still in college. Because they changed their major 4 or 5 times. I did not do that. I knew I wanted to be a coach. I then graduated in spring of 73, started in the fall of 73 at BC Wright. I have coached for the next 52 years. And, I spent 26 years in the public school system, 26 in the private. What better could a coach have where I've seen the best of both worlds? I got to coach at my alma mater, Murphy. That was my dream. That really surprised Jeannie the most when I left there to come to UMS, because she knew how important it was for me to be the head coach one day at Murphy High School. None of this would be possible without the support of my wife. A lot of you don't even know her. She has led me for 52 years to do what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, gone a lot of the time, and stayed in the background. A lot of people tell you coaches' wives can be a positive, and more times than not, they can be a negative. But she, not that she didn't care. I remember the security guards on many occasions, Coach, when you talk to the wife, she don't need to be walking at 9 o'clock at night down Bayshore Avenue. But her support and the way she's done this is, and I told her I was going to blame it on her, and she's one of the big reasons this is coming about, is because of her. And then I'm lucky to have Casey here today. My other son could not make it. I have neglected both of them for other kids and doing what I needed to do. My 2 brothers are here. Call them. I waited until I was sure. Called them yesterday. My youngest brother probably knows my offense as well as Casey does, and probably better than I do. And then my brother Bobby, who's next to me, who was a long-time coach at several places. Our families are the most important things that we have in this life. And like I told Doug, I said, I've done this for 52 years. I'm 74 years old. I don't know how much longer I have on this earth. But it's time I let some other people tell me what to do instead of me telling them what to do. Now, that's good and bad. I told you the other day, we're getting ready to find out if we even like each other. So she may be ready, and I may be coming back coaching BAA. So my family has supported me. I just wish my dad, who died 2 years ago, to be here. What a mentor and influence in my life, and I know he's watching me today. And he's proud, because he knew, before he's gone, he knew it was time. And I don't want to really get on that, because it's very, very emotional. I'm deeply grateful to Tony Havard. Is he here? He's teaching. Man, what a guy he has been And he paid me several months ago the ultimate compliment when he told me, he said, when we hired you, it prolonged my career by 20 years, not having to fool as much with athletics. And that was the ultimate thing that he could say. I've only worked for 2 headmasters here, him and then Dr. Barber. I have a hard time saying that also, but he's earned it. He's earned it. So I want to thank them for allowing me to continue to doing what I love. Board of Trustees, thank you. Past board chairman, thank you. I even see Marietta sitting back there. You know, I remember she was the first lady board chairman. Everybody going, whoa, how that's going to work? And I'll tell you, she may have been the best we ever had. That woman was tough. She didn't put up with anything. She said, look, you need to call them and ask him what's going on. So thank you all. Y'all have been unbelievable for your steadfast support of our athletic program. To the parents, a lot of you parents here, thank you for your support and the lifelong relationships that we have built in this school community. And that's one of the greatest things. These parents and the support that they've given this program is second to none. And we have had some good times. We've gotten to know each other. I think they've gotten to know me. They've become lifelong friends, and we've become a community school. You know, I talk real quick a lot about educational-based athletics, which I firmly believe in. But right behind that, I put in nowadays, the way sport is going, is community-based athletics. That is where we're losing the boat at this time. We're no longer in a lot of systems and a lot of places a community-based athletic program where kids play for their school. They grow up wanting to play for that school. And that's what we still have here at UMS Wright. Though I'm retiring from coaching, I plan to remain at UMS Wright. Dr. Barber and I have not come up with a title. He's had several. I didn't like any of them. So I'm still overriding him on that. So we're still looking at that. We even get Ashley and Frank involved in some of that. But I'm planning on staying in an advisory, administrative role where I can stay as the president of the Central Board for one more year. I really want to finish my time with that, was something I started, and getting the Super 7 was here a big deal. And I got some other things up there that I want to try to get done in the next year and a half. So that's kind of my plans for the near future. For 26 years, our program has been guided by the mission of UMS Wright. We have always strived to instill honor in the way our students play the game, and more importantly, to teach them lessons that extend far beyond football. The success of this program is a testament to the incredible support we have received and the relationships we have built with students, parents, and coaches. These connections have been the foundation of a program that has remained strong and consistent. I want to thank my players and my coaches for your unwavering loyalty to this program, and I'm talking about all coaches, not just my football coaches. The kind of the thing, I talk to my football coaches, then I talk to my players, then I talk to all coaches, and then last night I talked to the board. So that's kind of how we went about this, and we remain strong and consistent. It has been an incredible journey, and one that I will forever be grateful for. There is no place like this. This will always be home. I always wish nothing but the best. But it's like I told my players after the last game, Dr. Seuss said it, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. And that is something I firmly believe in. What a lucky guy I am. And to stand before you today is an honor. And I just hope I have made you half as proud as you have made me. Thank you. few questions if you may have any.
Over the past few years, we've been asking you, is this going to be the last year? What made this the right time?
Wow. Right here in the front. Stand up, Jenny. Let them see you. That made it time. I can't say anything else. Doug and I talked. I look for reasons. You know, participation going down. Kids not responding to you. You're just too old. He's old-fashioned. I'm not listening to him. None of that ever happened. They kept playing hard. I told the team at the banquet, this team was 6-7, not one of our best years. But I was as proud of this team as any team I've ever coached because we got everything that was possible out of those guys. Everything that was possible. And that's what this place is about. That makes it hard to quit because of what we deal with every day. And I guarantee you, all my coaches will tell you the same thing, and my administrators and everybody else. I get passionate about that. You know, they talk about, oh, you got an off year. Well, no, we didn't. No, we didn't. Those guys did as well as they could do, and I was as proud of them as any state championship we ever won.
And you still feel like it was fun, but you were still having fun.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'd ask coaches all the time that were retired, what made you get out? Well, weekends. Man, I got where I hated Saturdays and Sundays. Practice. It was too hot. I got tired of practice. I got every kind of reason you could think of. Even one coach, one of my good friends at Murphy, told me way back when he was getting ready to retire, Chuck Maxman, who played at Auburn, he said, your feet will let you know it. I went, what? Your feet will let you know it. I went, wow. He said, you'll get tired standing out there for 2.5 hours. Back then, wearing them spot bills with the ripples in them. But, you know, we went to tennis shoes and other kinds where that solved that problem. I wasn't tired of any of that. I loved the scheming. I loved the game planning for that. Like I said, I looked for reasons. I wanted a reason. I just kept praying that a reason would come. And these kids would not give it to me. The administration would not give it to me. I really thought Doug Barber coming in one day and said, look, man, you're old. It's time for you to go. You know. But it never happened. It never happened.
Coach, there became a saying that nobody wanted to play Terry Curtis in the playoffs. And I've heard coaches say it, fans say it, parents say it. What does that mean to you to know that you guys were so good in the postseason? And what does it just say about your team that you had throughout the year?
I think our kids expected it. You know, the last 2 years, those 2 wins in the playoffs when the years wasn't going so great, you know, going up to, Central Clay, Danny Horn broke my record, but he sent me a long note yesterday, and I sent him one back. I said, I'm still 1-0 against you. This year going to, Demopolis, number 4 seed again. 2 years in a row, we did that again in 2010, I think it was. We went to Macador, did the same thing. Those wins are just as important, but our kids go in those games thinking they win. And our coaches preparing our guys. I mean, 2010, I had a good idea we were going to win that game. The coach come before the game. We're having the best year we've ever had, and we get y'all. I said, well, look, man, we were, at the time, I think, 4-6. I said, that's a good year to get us, and we ended up winning the game.
I've talked to some coaches since yesterday. There were some that were emotional. Obviously, my husband being one of them, and then a lot of people that you've impacted and touched throughout your entire career. What does it mean just to see everyone here today to honor you? I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this other than maybe Nick Saban or something like that.
Oh, well, I'll have to get on him about that. But my last 7-8 years mentoring younger coaches or even older coaches that just got fired, and how to go about doing whatever has been very, very important to me. I'm the president of the Alabama Football Coaches Association, and I've stayed in all those roles because I felt like I had something and a way to make an impact on them. I bet you, Jenny will tell you, I was up at 11:30 last night, or past, answering texts from coaches. And I couldn't just send them thanks, it would be, a while, because I love coaches. They're my best friends. I've said the thing a lot of times. I don't even know my next door neighbors. Fred Sudahay lives next door, my sporting goods salesman. I bet I hadn't seen Fred 3 times since he moved in. But all my friends are coaches, all of them, and I answer them each and every time, and I love being around them. I love being a part of them. That's going to be one of the hardest parts, other than these kids. Second, it's going to be giving up some of the stuff with all the coaches and all, because they are special to me, and a lot of them are emotional. You can just tell by their texts and their talking. So,
Have you thought about where you're going to be on Friday nights? You're going to be second guessing, or in the stands, or have you thought about that?
well, I'm going to talk to Coach Saban how he did it, and I heard he did a pretty good job until maybe the Oklahoma game, and I heard he went in the defensive room and had some words for him. So I'm going to try to stay out of it and go from there. But I'm not going to get involved. People have asked. I know the question. I have no idea who the next coach is going to be. I have asked for a few of my assistants to be interviewed. I think they would do that, but where they go from there, all I do and know is I trust that committee and that board that they're going to get, in their opinion, the best coach at UMS Wright. I know when I was hired 26 years ago, and Don Foots and Sandy and Doug and 7 more in here were on that committee, they didn't know for sure that they'd had to hire the right guy in me. Matter of fact, Rudy Nordman, Molly's husband, my assistant, told me at the press conference, said, "You won't last 2 years here." I had a few choice words for him. I didn't know the guy. I had a few choice words for him, and I reminded him that not long ago. I was around here a lot longer than he was. But they're gonna get the right guy. They're gonna get the right guy, and it's gonna be a special guy. I'm telling you, he's gonna have to do some things that he probably never had to do in his coaching career, because of the support of our parents, our board, and those people. You're going to have to do some things with them that you probably don't have to do at other schools. But I go back to Bud, Joe, and Sandy. I knew those guys. We played against each other. We were friends before I got here. They helped me every day to do and be what I needed to be. And you throw Angus Cooper II in, never met him in my life. He came in my office, left me a note, and it said something like, "Success is relationships." I never really even thought about that, and that day forward. But those guys are the reason I've lasted here for 26 years. Another good thing, I've been in this is my 3rd school. I've never been fired. That's unusual. That's unusual. Mark, you always have a smart ass remark.
We'll get you tomorrow morning.
Buddy Hornaday, he was with Channel 10. He's here. He was always starting quarterback at Murphy till I got through with basketball. Then he went back to scout team. Finally transferred to school. Well, several former coaches I see. But great to see you. Ken Suda has been a friend for a long, long time. Anything else? All right, Frank.
Coach, this place is forever changed because of your commitment to that consistency you spoke of, to our mission, your legacy is cemented not just in these trophies and in the trophies in the hall. It's really in the 2.5 decades of football players and men's and women's athletes who are now in our community and throughout this country doing great things because of the lessons you taught them. And the main one really is, and you hinted on it, is that here you've taught them that we do things the right way. We don't step aside of that, and if that means wins or losses, it doesn't matter, but we're going to do it right every time, and I appreciate you for that. I didn't think I'd be the one that would get emotional up here, but Coach Curtis and I have had a lot of emotional conversations these last few days, and I even told him right before we walked out, I said we could send all these people home and make another little run at it, and he said, really? But we do thank all of you for coming out here. Coach Curtis has like I said, made an impact on so many people and so many people that are here, and a lot of conversations I've had over these last few days, and we're grateful that he's going to be able to stick around. UMS has had a long history of success in all of our athletics, including football, and this is before Coach Curtis came, and we intend to continue that success. UMS is a founding member of the Alabama High School Athletic Association, and Coach Curtis has cemented that legacy at the state level and really throughout the country, and we appreciate him for that. We'd love for everyone here to stick around. We have refreshments in the Wilson Gym. Coach Curtis will be available for additional comments, and of course Dr. Barber on behalf of the school, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that anybody has from a board perspective. Thanks for coming.